Hey guys, just update video here on the Bilt 20 GTX 20. Got the valves out. Upon inspection, intake don't look too bad as far as the seating surface on the valve seat. The exhaust, on the other hand, doesn't look that great. So I looked at the valves. I cleaned the intake, as you can see here. And overall, it doesn't look too bad. It has a nice ring going around it for where it was seating. So that's good. The exhaust, on the other hand, don't look good at all here. Not good at all. And if you give me 1 second, I will put them in a drill and show you my findings on that part of them. Okay, now I'm going to turn this very slowly. Try and get this so that you guys can see this. I don't know what I could do to make it a little better. Because maybe if I hold it a little further away. Okay. Watch. See it wobble? Not much, but just ever so slightly. Now that's the exhaust valve. So we got a bent exhaust valve, and let me put the intake in and I'll bring it back. Okay, now that I have the intake in, let's watch it. Ever so slightly that it's bent. Not much, but it is ever so slightly that's bent. So, if that happened, it must have hit the head, I'm assuming, or the piston, I'm sorry. The piston in the engine. I didn't see any damage to the piston itself. So it did bend the push rod, so that was the weak link. And we did straighten them out a little bit to just see if we could get it running or not. So honestly, I'm surprised that it did run the little bit it did. We're definitely going to have to put new valves in it. And I'm just going to go ahead and assume the fact that because these two are bent, the other two and the other head are bent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the cylinder head here, and I'm going to order the valves. I'm going to order new head gaskets, and we're going to put that all back together and see if we can't try again at getting this thing running. I was hoping it was something like this and not rings. Not that it isn't the rings, but this is definitely a problem. And another thing I thought of is and I don't know if this would cause this or not, but the way this looks to me, this looks like like I said, maybe like a burnt valve. Even inside here, the way this looks. But I wonder if that had anything to do with the fact that this flange being broken off the exhaust pipe or the muffler. You can see this one here was welded at one point, but it's that other one there where it broke off that we're looking at now. So I'm just wondering if, because this had a leak there, if that wasn't causing some of the burnt valve problems beforehand, and then it just so happens that the oil pump was on its way out, and when it more or less seized up or whatever happened, that's what bent the push rod's end, because when the camshaft couldn't spin, but the pistons were still moving, some of the valves were open, and that's what love tapped them, I guess. When we had both heads off before, I had looked at it, and they looked like they were okay. They didn't look bent. I could open them fully and everything, but just so happened it did tweak them a little. So Not bad enough, I don't think, to cause any problems in the head. But like I said, we're going to clean everything up here. I'm going to order a whole new set of valves, new head gaskets. And we're going to try again. See if we can't get this thing running again. So hopefully we can do that. Still trying to work on a budget. My thinking is that if we can get this thing up and running and the tractor working and stuff like that, then I'll probably go ahead and buy new push rods at that point, because we're still going to be running the original ones, which were bent back as straight as they possibly could be in a vise. So we're gonna give it a shot here, one thing at a time. Like I said, this is just an experiment for me to see if I can get this thing running when they said that the engine was bad. So you know, I'm just giving it a shot. I don't recommend, doing some of the stuff that I've been doing to your own engine if you want to have it rebuilt and stuff like that. But being that the tractor has like 1,300 hours, it's probably not a bad idea that the heads would have been taken off anyway and had the carbon cleaned off of them and maybe had the valves reseated. But in this case, we're going to be replacing the valves. So, all right, enough jibber jabbing. I'm going to go back to work here. Got to go in on the computer and see if I can find these parts and get everything ordered. So that should be the end of that for this time. I did get the engine tin back on the 2000 Eliminator, so all we have to do now is put the hood back on it. And I don't think I'm going to bother waxing it or greasing it at this time of year. Probably just get it off the table, and then we can work on the new project and stuff that'll be coming up, which you guys don't know about yet, but very excited to start that. So stay tuned. I'll see you.